Ngayong adlaw sa kanatong tanan, when you try to open your microphone, Deebs, would you like to listen to yourself too? Your headphones?
Absolutely. Let me put one of these things on.
Yeah, man.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's gonna mess up your hair.
I don't care.
It's gonna mess up your
all
hair.
for the art.
Yeah.
All for the art.
Oh man.
There we go.
Can you hear yourself?
Loud and clear.
What do you feel like when you listen to yourself?
Nothing. It just takes me back in the 90s when I was with you at Y101.
Wow. Because it took me like a long time to actually get comfortable with my voice, because I've always felt like, what the hell? I don't recognize that voice. That it's like listening to another person.
But after all these years in radio, you still feel that way.
Just a little bit, but it took me 10 years to embrace that voice.
Slow learn.
And not to hate it, actually. Because we always are asked to record our shows, right?
Yeah.
And sort of like correct yourself and all of that stuff. I had to do that many times. And it was like cringe to me. Like it was a cringe moment. Did you get comfortable listening to yourself right away?
It took me a while. I learned with Johnny Kawa.
Yeah. You have to speak close to the microphone. Thank you.
I trained under Johnny Kawa
Yeah.
in the mid-90s, and I hated my voice. And it took me not as long as you, 10 years. Come on.
Okay.
That's a little bit a lot, Jigs. You've got a great radio voice.
No, I don't. Anyway, so.
And no, I don't. I love the sound of my voice.
Really?
Yeah.
Like from the beginning?
No.
Okay.
No, I thought I sounded like I sounded like I was trying too hard. And now it's like, nah. At this time in my life, I don't try hard. This is who I am.
They say that when you open the microphone, something snaps. Like something happens to a person, especially if you're a radio personality. Like you become this character, this other person that you don't normally hear or see when there's no microphone in front of them. Because I have been in front of a microphone so many times that I can't make the distinction anymore. Sometimes when I'm talking to people, it's like there's always a microphone, like in my head. Like it's so the person that you hear without a microphone is the same person that you hear with a microphone. That's what's happening with me. It's like they've merged into that one person. How about you? Are you like different when there's a camera or when there's a microphone in front of you compared to the person without a camera, without a microphone?
Well, I think I'm more careful to enunciate and speak slower because I have a tendency to speak fast.
Okay.
But I really believe in your situation, the reason the two have merged is because it's really you. You're really being authentically you.
Yeah.
Like you can't have been in this business for how many years, Jiggy?
I started when I was 2 years old, so 30 years. Yeah.
So you've been doing this for
since
a
I
number of years.
since I was 2 years old.
So how can this not be a part of you? Of course they've merged. You're like living your purpose. You're being authentic.
Yeah. But how about you? Like, do you feel like there's a part of you aside from enunciation? There's a part of you that you're hiding, perhaps, or whatever.
I think that when I speak in public, because in my work, even in Spain, and in my work when I had that I had in Canada, there was an amount of public speaking in my work.
Okay, what was that?
Just to answer your first question, I think I shine. I think I shine. Yeah, I do. Does that answer your question?
What does that mean? What does shining mean?
It allows me to present myself in the best way I can. To articulate, to communicate, and to really kind of dig deep and say, okay, is this who I am? Am I representing myself with
authenticity?
Authenticity,
yeah? So
exactly. And you have ever since I've known you.
So you feel like whatever it is that comes out of your mouth when you're in public with a microphone in front or a camera, that it really is the authentic you. Because sometimes the authentic you is how should I say it, curtailed by the audience, right? You know what I mean? What if you have to be this certain side of you? You have to only present a certain side of you because the audience is such. You know what I mean? There's an objective here in front of an audience. Like, for example, what's happening with us, right? Ultimately, like the business of commercial radio, commercial media is to have more listeners and viewers, right? And ultimately, hopefully, one would hope, because this is a commercial enterprise, advertisers are going to start coming in because
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have listeners, you have viewers, right? So ultimately, I'm conscious of that, right?
No, but Jiggy, I've seen you through the years. I don't think that you're one way on air and one way off air.
Uh-huh.
I think that you are in the most beautiful form.
Mm.
You seek opportunities
Yeah.
in life and
Yeah.
in business.
Uh-huh.
So when you're walking the streets of Cebu or when you've got the microphone in front of you, I think you're always trying to present yourself in
Yeah.
the best way possible
Yeah.
in order to open yourself up for whatever opportunities.
Yeah.
The opportunity that presented itself last night when
Yeah.
we were sitting
Yeah,
at
yeah.
Asmara,
Yeah.
just, you know,
Yeah.
passing time
Yeah,
together.
yeah.
And so when I am in front of a microphone or when I'm speaking to a crowd, whether it be on the street, I think every day, Jiggy, if the truth be told, I prepare myself, my body and my mind every single day to say, okay, I'm gonna step out into the world and see what gifts are there. So are you asking, is it different when I'm in front of people or with a mic in front of me or not? No.
Yeah.
I'm always ready and prepared for an opportunity. Now, I might be ready, but every day is a different day. I
Yeah.
might react differently and be more open to opportunities than one day and not so open.
So you don't consider the audience when you're opening your mouth?
No. What I consider is, am I communicating the best way I can from authenticity?
Always.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
wow.
you can't divide. How do you divide? How do you separate, like, me in this sphere, like in public and private? I think that just be you, man. Just be you.
Wow. In case you're wondering what on earth is going on, this is this is Francis Diva Rodriguez, a former radio personality and still is now apparently of Y101. Now she's back here from Spain. She actually is a founder of an art gallery in what part of Spain is this?
It's in the province of Alicante, and
Alicante,
my town is
yeah.
called Javia.
Yeah, Javia, and the name of the art gallery is Casa Recoleto,
Casa Recoleto.
named after the maiden name of your mother, right?
Exactly.
You know what, Deebs? It is. I wouldn't have thought in a million years that you'd be in that part of the world, and you'd be running an art museum, an art gallery, right?
Me too.
Maybe you can tell us a little bit of the journey from when I knew you. This was like a few years ago.
Few years
Years ago.
A lifetime ago.
In that radio station, you know, you were a media personality back then in two of the top radio stations in Cebu, which is Y101 and Kiss FM, right?
Yeah.
And
Good times.
and how did you get from that to Spain and founding an art museum of all places in Spain?
Just to tie in what I just said or what we just spoke about is always ready for opportunities. I've lived a long life now, and I want to leave this earth, Jiggy. I didn't say this, I haven't shared this with you. I want to leave this earth trying everything creative or trying whatever career that tickles me, that interests me, that lights a fire. So when I left Cebu, I left in 2000. I was in radio for 5 years here. I went back to Canada because that's where I grew up. My family and I, we left in 1974. So I went back to Canada and had a job at a bank and tried the corporate world, which wasn't really my gig. And then I opened up a business, a health and safety business. Let's try to abbreviate this. I've had a long life, so I've got to give you a Coles Notes version of
It's
this.
okay, man. We have all day.
No, boring. No, so I had a health and safety company that was a family-owned business, at which point we were lucky enough to sell it. And I had 2 children at the end of my career, in my health and safety career. I had 2 children. And I live in a very white Anglo-Saxon Protestant at the time. It's not like that now, Jiggy. It's completely different.
In Canada.
Where I grew up, there was me and 3 Korean girls. And I really wanted my children to have a more international upbringing. And at the time, the father of my children, my husband, was a Brit. He still is a Brit. And we always traveled to Europe because I wanted to expose myself and my children to more of an international life. fast forward, we built the company, we set it up so we could work remotely. And so we moved to Spain. Why Spain? Well, we looked at Italy and we looked at a few other places, and I realized that my kids learning Spanish was more advantageous than them learning Italian, just by the sheer population of people who speak Spanish versus Italian. So we moved to Spain, and I started painting, and I loved it. And I found this incredible space facing the Mediterranean, and it was my art studio, but it was too big and too beautiful. So then I opened up an art gallery, and I wanted it to represent the community in which I live. So everybody's there, Germans, the Dutch, the Belgians, everybody. Did I say the English? Lots of English. So that's basically how I started, by sheer coincidence and accident. And then, so I have now a 1,000 square meter creative space. The bottom floor is an art gallery, but to try to abbreviate my very boring and long story, is it's a creative space that celebrates contemporary modern art, but I invite other creatives, whether they be chefs, classical, I've had a classical pianist from Japan come in. I've had this incredible singer from Haiti come in, incredible DJ from Valencia come in. So I create all things creative, but predominantly when you walk in, you see an art gallery.
You know, you said earlier in this conversation, we talked about how I could not have imagined you in the art space, right? Obviously, that's also a testament of how much I didn't know you at that time. I mean, like I knew you, but only to a certain extent, right?
Yeah.
But was this something that you were already thinking about when you were here in Cebu, or was this something that just presented itself? Were you already like in that headspace of creative creation and art and all that stuff?
My tagline is of Casa Recoleto is the art of living. I've always been attracted to things that I deem beautiful, whether it be art, whether it be interiors, whether it be whatever. And so it was always something of a whisper. And then when I was in Canada before I moved to Spain, I started painting and started collecting. Actually, it started with collecting art. I had very, very dear friends who were big art collectors in my hometown in Canada, in Ontario, and they kind of lit a fire. And then I thought, I can do this. And it became a real wonderful, almost therapeutic outlet. Because the art that I create is very physical. Like I'm sweating and I'm moving, and my pieces are huge. And there's a lot of physical movement in the pieces, and textural, because I don't just use multimedia. I use plaster, I use cement, I use iron. So it's a very physical, it's very an intimate relationship I have with the mediums that I use. So it's always something that I've always been interested in making and surrounding myself with beautiful things and beautiful people. And the art of living means not just being around beautiful things, but the art of creating an incredible life amongst beauty, in beauty.
The art of living. Wow.
Yeah. It's not really that profound, but yeah, sure.
No, but I'm trying to say those words, the art of living. You think like living is a kind of art form?
It's a definite creative process where you curate your friends, curate the moments, you curate things in your home, the way you present yourself, everything you're curating on how you want to be perceived and how you wish to exist on this earth.
So, curating, filtering?
Sure, if you wish. Yeah, filtering what you feel is comfortable, what inspires you, what lights you up, what makes you laugh, what touches you, what teaches you. Yeah, absolutely.
So I remember this story a few weeks ago when we were celebrating the ASEAN in Cebu, right?
Yeah.
And we have like visitors from all over the region.
Right.
And when the tourists or our Asian friends arrived here, there was a part of Cebu that was covered because it was like the squatters area or something like that.
I've seen that happen before.
So they were filtering the ugly quote unquote ugly
Yeah.
from what
everybody.
we deem as beautiful, right?
Right.
So doesn't that curating, doesn't that filtering sort of try to filter the truth
The reality.
from the world, because it's all life is all not all just beauty, right? There's also
Absolutely.
ugly, right?
Right.
And an argument can be made that there's beauty in ugly, right? So
Absolutely.
so what does that do to your reality? Like if you're always curating, always filtering, does that make you out of touch with what's real and what's really out there? Are you shielding yourself from a potential perhaps harm or damage or unpleasantness because this is not beautiful to me?
I think that life just presents discomfort all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And ugliness all the time. It is what it is. But the human capacity or our own personal capacity can only take so much. So I think we all just allow, just for sheer survival or just contentment in life. Wouldn't you agree that you have boundaries where it's like, okay, I will only allow so much discomfort in my life, and from here, I won't tolerate anymore. I don't know. Let's just try to simplify. If you're in a crowd in a party and you meet somebody and you're just not vibing with that person, he's negative, she's a complainer, whatever, then you just kind of say, okay, I've spent 2 minutes with this person. Let's move on to the next crowd. I know I'm clearly oversimplifying this, but this is what we do in life. You only allow so much that you can't handle, and then the rest you try to kind of filter. And it's for me to. In my philosophy in life, I try to simplify everything. And I just place these loving boundaries that respect myself and respect other people. So yes, okay, this is all crap. Yeah. So when I lived here many years ago, I remember the Pope came to the Philippines and they also covered all the poverty. Okay. And I also, just before coming to Cebu, I was in South Africa. And I really wanted to see the townships. And I didn't get to it because I had to leave early. I had to come here last minute. But I did drive by it. And they really segregated the townships from the rest of, let's say, Cape Town and Johannesburg. So it wasn't necessarily, it wasn't at all in my face, except when I was driving. And I thought that was really interesting, and really interesting that you should mention it.
I'm curious, like, why would world leaders cover the reality of the circumstance of the people, right? I mean, why would they cover it from the Pope, for example, right? Why are they covering Cape Town's ugly side, if you will? Why is that?
Yeah, it's marketing. Nobody wants to see the ugly. The reality is, it's like here right now. I'm enunciating. I'm trying to present myself in the best. It's just the way it is. It's the reality. But I don't think our heads are in the sand, Jiggy. Like we all know that.
Yeah, I know
that. There's
poverty everywhere. There's
poverty
and
pollution, inequality, and unjustness. Yeah. But for media, like, okay, let's put the TV on. Let's put the TV on, shall we? Look at Hollywood. Everything is beautiful. Women have big lips and blonde hair and great tits and everybody. But the reality is, not everybody looks like that.
We're curating our realities.
But I think that's a beautiful thing. I think it's a beautiful. But curating doesn't mean it's all roses and daisies, right? Yeah. Like you can't curate without finding some thorns along the way.
Yeah.
This is a lot more profound than I had imagined. Like shit. Can we spin some? Can we spin some albums here? Like
the reason why you're here, of course, aside from catching up with an old friend, is really we're celebrating International Women's Month, the entire month of March, right? Absolutely. And this is the month where we talk to a lot of empowered women, right? Whatever that means, right? So I'm curious, Divs, since we're celebrating International Women's Month, what the hell does empowered even mean? What does that mean? Like, do you have like kind of a superpower that wasn't there? What does an empowered woman mean to Francis Rodriguez? Go ahead.
For me, it's having a voice.
Okay.
We come from a culture, I'm not even talking about the Philippines, but as a society, we come from this old patriarchal kind of idea of what a woman should be. and I think it's changed. I see it especially in my daughter and in their generation. Having a voice to speak your truth, and also to have to speak your truth and have emotions. I think women, and I say this, with such care because, what at the end of the day, Jigs, what do I know? But I think women have silenced themselves for too long for the sake of peace in the household. But I think women's voices need to be heard, because our voice comes with it not just feminine, but the masculine, and the balance of both. And I think predominantly empowerment means being true to yourself and not making, I spoke to you about this earlier, making yourself small so that you're palatable to other people. Just being you, being authentically you. And being a woman is a very interesting thing. And I'm not saying that men don't experience this too, but women live in chapters where they're young and they're the daughter of somebody. Or when you're a student, and then you're a wife of somebody, and then you're the mother of somebody. So I'm at the stage where I'm an empty nester now. So now I'm like really becoming me. I'm not saying it's wonderful all the time. It's a struggle because I miss having the definition and the role of being a mom, let's say, as an example. And it took me a year to kind of become used to this. And now it's like my kids come home and they want me to cook. I'm like, what? Let's order in. Like, I'm not that mom anymore. And so in all chapters of a woman's life, owning it and loving being a young mom, being a wonderful wife, but having a voice and still being true to yourself without losing yourself in service.
You mentioned earlier women are being silenced for the sake of peace in the household, right? You mentioned
As
that.
an example.
As an example, right? And to me, I think peace is one of those top priorities as part of my goals in life, right? Like peace is like one of my ultimate goals, peace, right?
But not in sacrifice of yourself.
Isn't silencing not necessarily just a woman, or isn't sacrificing something for something as elusive as peace a great and important sacrifice to make? Because peace is for me a kind of high important goal.
Well, you're talking huge stuff now
Yeah.
that I'm not even educated or qualified. But peace, okay.
Peace is it's a very important, right?
The very important word is sacrifice. So sacrifice means
for peace.
No, the word sacrifice has a very negative connotation for me.
Okay.
It means to give up of something. Sacrifice means.
But isn't peace worth giving up something?
Absolutely, but within one's comfort level. Within one's comfort level. I'm happy to serve whoever, whatever the cause, whoever the person. But within my comfort level, knowing my boundaries, where I haven't sacrificed myself to the point where I'm running on empty.
So you're saying that
you're talking big stuff. I'm talking little stuff.
Peace to you is worth the sacrifice, but only to a certain extent. But if I am not being my authentic self,
how can you be peaceful if you've sacrificed yourself to the point where you're running on empty?
Well, you're talking about the household now. Because the peace that you were talking about is the peace of the household. I'm trying to imagine a household as
the world.
The world, right?
Yeah.
So isn't it worth sacrificing, whatever it is that I want for world peace, for example?
But look at what's happened in Spain.
Yeah.
Did you see what?
Tell me what happened in Spain.
Okay, first of all, again, I want to preempt this with I am not a political person.
Yeah.
But the leader of Spain has said in a speech, I think yesterday or the day before, that they will not allow aircrafts to land. And he said, let the Palestinians deal with Palestinians. I'm not included in this. We have our own shit to deal with here in Spain. And respectfully, we're not getting involved. That's beautiful boundaries in which this problem doesn't belong to me. That was, I don't even know if I'm directing my response to your question, but only within your comfort level should one I hate the word sacrifice, but should one should someone sacrifice in order for your peace? Because then what happens ultimately? Then you're the one that's in discomfort.
Yeah.
Well, where does that get anybody? Where does that get anybody? So I'm so happy that you're happy, Jiggy, but now I'm fucking hungry. Oh, sorry. Now I'm hungry, or I'm uncomfortable. La 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 la. No, well then that's not fair. And that's not for the greater good, by the way. That's not for the greater good. No.
You know, that example of yours, Spain saying that they can't land their planes here. Well,
Yeah.
I actually don't know the details of what happened in Spain.
I just saw snippets of it
snippets
myself.
of that myself too, but I don't know the full details. But we're living in a very interconnected, borderless world now because of the way we are been interconnected by the internet, right?
Yeah.
So it's difficult to already figure out the boundaries, right? All we have in our heads before were physical boundaries of nation and waters, right? Those were the boundaries before, but now because of transportation, right, we can easily go to wherever we want to go, and we can purchase anything anywhere, with Shopee or whatever, right? So the borders that you're talking about are just borders of the mind now, right? The boundaries that you're talking about are just boundaries of the mind, right? It's no longer a physical boundary because we've already broken through that physical boundary, right?
Yeah, so I think the new world with technology making it so that it's easy for me to communicate from Spain to here, whatever, is that it's really kind of what's the word? It's really promoting and begging us to go in. To okay, now that the world is limitless and I can have anything and travel anywhere and the world is open through technology. What is this? How does this affect me? How do I cope with this? How much is too much? Going back to curating and creating a life in an environment that is good for you. Like I said this many, many years ago, and I haven't said it since, but I think in opportunities and choices, you get lost. And then you have to ask yourself, what's important to you? What's enough for you?
That's where the definitions come in handy, right?
Oh, that we talked about last night.
Right?
Yeah.
You just talked about it now. You're a mother, you're a student.
Yeah.
So the definitions of who you were made it easier for you to comply, to do the right thing. It was like kind of a guidepost, right? But now that there's no more definition, all bets are off. Like, where are the signs?
No, and it's a frightening thing.
Yeah.
Because
freedom is a frightening thing.
Yeah,
freedom is a frightening
thing.
You're
absolutely right. Like when I was a wife and a mom and I had my career, I had duties. I hate that word even. I had habits that I had to do. I'd wake up in the morning. I'd wake up the kids. I'd make their lunch, pack it up beautifully, make their breakfast. And then suddenly I didn't have the intricacies of that role in my life. So suddenly my house is empty. And I was like confused and lost and didn't know what to do with myself. And now I've embraced the void.
Embracing the void.
I've embraced the void, and now I filled this void, and my children know this, by the way.
The void, ladies and gentlemen.
I filled this void with things and people that I adore and I love that inspire me. Of course, I have moments that aren't so inspirational, but that's what my life at this stage of my life does, and that empowers me to embrace who I am in this stage of my life. And I think in the busyness of being a parent or being a wife, we forget to embrace these moments.
Okay.
And that only comes with years of experience.
This is the nth time that I've heard the word empowered. And of course, this is what it's all about because this is International Women's Month. And we are talking to what I call empowered women. Early on, one of my first questions to you was what does empowered mean? And you're, in a nutshell, saying that it is about the ability to express who you really are, your true self, right?
Embracing the moment.
To the world. So what's the opposite of empowered? Like, is it like...
To be disempowered.
What does it mean to be disempowered?
To not live the life in which you want to have, to not speak your mind and speak your truth, and not to love who you want to love. And I'm not just talking romantically in general, to not have the freedom to basic freedoms, to be disempowered and not be who you are.
You know, a lot of those things that you mentioned earlier, you know, the freedom to love and do what you want, a lot of that is affected by the economy, right? I mean, your social status in society, right? Sometimes it's difficult to do this and do that because you can't afford it, la di da, right? So, and we talked about it last night that, you know, sometimes we forget how lucky we are because we're able to talk things like this, like profound things that is a luxury to a lot of people because they have empty stomachs and they can't think like this because they have to figure out what to do tomorrow to get food on the table, right? So we're lucky like that, right?
I don't know about that, Jigs. I don't think. Of course, like let's not lie to ourselves.
Yeah.
I think that there's the haves and the have-nots.
Yeah.
But the thing is that I know people that have a lot of stuff, and they live in lack. Like I've traveled the world and lived in many places. I know people who live in wonderful situations and they live in lack. And I also know some very poor people that live in abundance. And we're not talking about stuff. We're not talking about things. We're talking about how one chooses to live. One day I was traveling with, I don't know, you remember Joey Salko?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Y101.
Yeah. From Club 101 Adventure. Yeah.
And we were, I think, in Dumaguete and driving, and he said, God, how I'd love to live in a hut on a beach. and see, I bet just the thing, it's all in how you perceive lack and abundance.
Yeah.
It's not about how many cars you have and how many houses you have. It's about, oh my God, like, what a great space we're sitting in. It's about living in the moment. You can't look at your life from high level. You have to say, oh my God, I'm so happy to be here with you right now, Jig. I'm so happy that the air conditioning right now is set at its perfect temperature. That, I think we have to kind of go back to the basics and live moment by moment.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's a bloody luxury to be able to have, because we have, that's not I think it's a state of mind. It's not about the ownership of cash and houses and cars.
But there is something that happens to the mind if it lacks food, right?
Well, no, because if we don't take care of our basic human needs, then we're nothing.
Yeah.
And I know, again, very wealthy people who don't feed themselves, don't hydrate themselves. Like I always say to my
voluntary hunger, right?
Absolutely. Like I even say to my children, as I spoke to you the other day, when my daughter is really stressed or my children are really stressed, I go back to the basics. How are you feeling today? Are you hot? Are you cold? Are you hungry? Are you fed? Have you drank water? Start there and then proceed with trying to solve the bigger problems. If you are not warm, if you are not if you don't have shelter, if you're not dry, if you're not hydrated, start there, because you cannot function without taking care of basic needs. And in my world, I call that grounding. I ground myself first before I go to the big stuff.
You ground yourself first before you go to the big stuff. So big stuff being all of these.
Paying mortgages, taking care of insurance.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, what am I going to, career, whatever.
So you call those the small stuff, and the big stuff come in when you took care of that.
When you've taken care of your physical body.
Yeah. So exactly. So people who don't have the luxury of taking care of the small stuff that you mentioned, although mortgage and all of those things are big stuff to a lot of people, right? That's what occupies their entire days, thinking about, like debt and whatever, right? Accomplishing something. It occupies their day, so they don't have time to think about the what we call the big stuff, which probably to them are the small stuff. To them, the things that we're talking about now, and being empowered and enlightenment and all of that stuff could be the small stuff to them, because what's important to them is paying the rent and all of that stuff.
Yeah, but you don't want to. Like, life comes with challenges, and bills have to be paid and shit needs to be done, right?
Yeah.
And there's challenges with family and society in general, but you can't do it if you're not taking care of your physical self and you're not grounded. Decisions from lack always comes up with more lack.
Decisions from lack always comes from more lack. So
Will result in more lack.
So what happens to the person who is lacking let's just say the financial resources? So are you saying that he will continually become or be poor because he comes from lack? Is that what you're saying?
No, I think you're always trying to talk bigger than my skill set allows.
I mean, like you said, we want to try to go to the void, right? We want to touch that and see what happens, right? So, every time, because we're just talking, we're not going to Mars or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
So whatever we say is just pushing us to a certain kind of mental boundary. So we have, and then if we don't know how to discuss it and if we don't know how to talk about, maybe that's important. Maybe that's important to talk about, right? So what is that? If we live in the third world, the Philippines, a majority of our brothers and sisters, ang atong mga kagalaan karon nga naminaw sa siyudad sa Sugbo and sa ubang lugar pa are most of us are poor.
Yeah.
Like naminaw na to mga taxi drivers were probably listening to us and what the hell are these guys talking about? I cannot relate to these things because I have to drive for 16 hours just to make ends meet. I don't have the luxury of stopping and relaxing and maybe they're wrong. Maybe even though they work 16 hours in between shifts, in between passengers, maybe they have time to reflect,
breathe.
Maybe siguro they were not given the opportunity or the knowledge and the know-how that there is a way for you to take care of your mind. Maybe schools don't teach that, right?
No, I definitely don't think that schools teach enough self-care.
Yeah, exactly.
And self-awareness.
Yeah.
And I say this with such humility and respect. I am not the person that can have any kind of knowledge in lack or poverty.
Because I remember you mentioned earlier that one of your greatest fears is poverty or your traumas or whatever.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've been incredibly lucky in life, and I sometimes, especially before, it's a daily healing for me to not feel like, oh my God, everything could go away.
Yeah.
And I know that's not going to happen. And it comes from maybe being born in this country and being surrounded by poverty to simplify this thing that I go through. That is, and I'm proud to say it's getting a lot better because it really takes away from the joy of my life. Not because I have, but the simple joy of being. So I can't at all begin to discuss with any intelligence about the taxi drivers or the people that live in poverty. But you can still, I'm so careful because I'm not qualified. But I think that I told you this yesterday about this thing that we have in our culture that I've not experienced in other places where, you walk by in the streets in the caranderia or people who maybe live in poverty, how you walk by them and the first thing they'll say is, "Kaon na ta." Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Kaon ta.
Kaon na ta.
Mangagda.
Let's eat.
Yeah.
Join me. Come and join me. Imagine these people, and I remember somebody told me this, these people are happy. How do they say? One day, one eat is a good day. And yet, before they tuck into their meal out of a bag, from the carinderia, they say, "Kaon na ta."
Out of a plastic bag, yeah.
Like, do you not see the beauty and the abundance of their lack?
Yeah, right.
Like, I've got goosebumps telling you this story.
Yeah.
And I tell people all around this world that this is where I come from.
So it's not.
So you see the abundance in their lack?
Yeah.
Kaon na ta.
Yeah.
Even though they might be only having that rice and that sudan once a day, They say,
You,
"Kaon
you,
na
you
ta."
don't see that in other cultures. You've been around the world. Tell us.
No. Hands down, no.
So if somebody is like eating somewhere in some part of the world, give me an example, like in Spain, right?
In Spain, we eat out a lot. We eat out a lot.
You mean outdoors? You mean?
We
Aside
in
from-
restaurants.
yeah.
In restaurants.
So you can.
And I have friends who'll say, I'll say, let's eat and I'll share. And I'll say, I don't like, and I think this comes from the Filipino-ness in me, where we share family style. We put the food in the center and we all take from the center. And I've known many people who say, I don't want to share. Please don't touch my food. Meanwhile, you're only asking for one bite. That really touches me. It actually triggers me.
I ask you about outdoors because if you're in a restaurant, right, and you're indoors, people around you are your friends, right? But when you're outdoors, you're people in a public place. People can pass by, and because like the example that you gave earlier was that when a Filipino is eating out of his plastic bag and opening it in public, even if it's a complete stranger that passes in front of him,
They ask you to join.
mangagda siya, he will invite you for the meager meal that he has, right? So if you did eat outdoors in Spain or wherever,
Like a picnic, you're saying? Or, yeah.
and there are like strangers passing by, that never happens anywhere.
Nunca. Never.
Like they would never ask strangers to just join us for a meal.
Spanish, never. Nunca.
Yeah.
Never. Ever. But I lived in Spain. I lived in the Philippines. I lived in North America. I've lived in Andorra.
Oh,
No.
so they don't do that. So
Do you see how beautiful that where we come from, where we share?
Yeah. Where do you think that? Where do you think that comes from? Because I was trying to analyze the taxi driver that we talked about, and you know he's got to work 16-hour shifts and all of that stuff, and maybe he should figure out a way to heal his mind somehow, like meditate or whatever. And maybe the school system doesn't teach that. Maybe society does not teach people who have less those, things like meditation and all of that stuff, right? But I was thinking about it, and then wait a minute, there's religion, right? And
That's why it's big in this country.
So what I'm saying is, actually, if you think about it, religion provides the thing that we're talking about to the masses, right? To a great number of people.
Like, for instance, my father just passed away and we were doing the novena.
Yeah, okay.
That's just meditation.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying the same thing over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
You might as well be saying Om over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
It's meditation. And
Yeah.
it gives them that.
Yeah.
But imagine conducting yourself within the religion and the faith that you belong in.
Yeah, yeah.
And in this situation, Catholicism.
Yeah.
Because that's what I know.
Yeah.
And understanding the profoundness of it instead
Yeah.
of just doing what you were taught.
Yeah.
Saying a prayer, but understanding the profoundness
Yeah.
of it. Doing the novena and understanding it's a meditation.
Even just being in a church, in a community, right? And the utter solemnity of it all, it is a kind of meditation, right?
Absolutely.
So
the sacredness of the church and the sacredness of you being in that
So
church.
I actually did underestimate us, because we actually have a mechanism in society that allows us to be.
But for me, in my humble opinion, is understanding why we do things and go to these places instead of just the formality of it and showing up for show.
But there's something about going to a church. Like, for example, me, when I go inside a church, there's something profound that's going on there. Just the solemnity of it, especially if it's an empty church, right? It's beautiful. It's a kind of meditation.
Absolutely. It allows you to go within yourself in that sacred
And I don't have
space.
to understand the prayers and the hymns and all of that
But
stuff.
that's you. But I
Yeah.
wonder, my
Yeah.
question is out
Yeah.
to the public.
Yeah.
Do they understand that the formalities is of the space and the rituals is a formality, but do you understand the gift of this of allowing yourself to go inside when you do the prayer, when you allow yourself to go inside when you walk into Santo Niño, the church, or Redemptorist or whatever. It's the opportunity to go inside. Or are you putting your best Sunday outfit on and
Sunday
looking
best, right?
around?
And then please continue.
But the gift of what our church and our faith gives us, is my only question really, is are you allowing yourself to go within when you are in the house of God?
Mga kaigalan, kung nahibong mo kinsa inyong gipaminaw, you're listening to Frances Diva Rodriguez, former Y101 radio personality. Now she founded a a art gallery, art museum, art studio, art creative space.
Sure. Casa Recoleto.
Casa Recoletos in a small town in España
Yes.
called what's the name?
Javia.
Javia.
So I'm like dead center
Yeah.
between Alicante
Yeah.
and Valencia.
Yeah, we were having a conversation last night by Jaya, and your name came up, right?
Yeah, really?
Yeah, man.
Who is this guapo man that's just walked into the studio?
This is by Jaya.
by Jaya.
Yeah, he's actually
Encantado. Nice to meet you.
a yoga instructor.
Oh, you're the yogi.
Yeah, and all of that stuff. So, so of course, this is our series now as we are celebrating International
Women's Day.
Women's Month. We
A
have
month, yeah.
we have all of these empowered women,
That's true.
and yesterday we had somebody Ludi, and now it's Miss Diva Rodriguez, a former Y101 radio personality, and she founded an art museum, an art space in Spain. And he's just here in town trying to find herself. I don't know what she found so far.
In Cebu,
She found me, obviously.
I found Jiggy.
It's difficult because I'm quite microscopic.
Really?
What, in size?
So I'm glad that you guys have met, because I think this is with or without a microphone. I think I would have done this anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
I think this is a nice way to meet
natural for you.
This is a nice way to meet people, right?
Yeah.
In a podcast.
I love
right,
it.
right.
I love it.
So we were just talking about enlightenment in turbulent
Ooh.
times, right?
Mm.
And
Yeah.
we live in such tumultuous, turbulent times, especially if you're always in your cell phone, because you see all of these things going on, especially with the war in the Middle East. You know, that's all we can talk about, and you would love to think that it doesn't affect you, but when you go to the gasoline station, you know that this thing that's happening like hundreds of thousands of miles away from you has nothing to do with you. So you're not gonna let it affect you. But when you open your wallet and pay for your fuel, then you now you realize that whatever's going on anywhere in the world affects you, because I have to pay so much more for my gas because of the conflict of the Middle East, right? So, ikaw by Jaya, like, what are your thoughts on? Because we were talking about the regular people, right? I mean, like, I was pointing out to Diva, that's her radio personality name.
Right.
So we'll just call her Diva today. That we are actually quite lucky that we have the luxury of talking about all these big things, because our stomachs are full, and we have roof over our heads, and so on and so forth. So we are lucky like that, and it's a luxury to talk philosophical and to talk empowerment and all of that stuff. But a majority of our brothers and sisters, because we live in the third world, don't have as much resources as us, and they don't have the opportunity to
Jiggy,
talk
I'm
like this.
sorry.
Let me finish. And then I realized that we actually do have a mechanism, and that's religion, because the religion allows us to meditate, to be kind of at peace with ourselves in a community, right?
Right.
So my question here to you, Jai, and I think you want to interject later on.
Start first.
Dave's
Diva.
is
Hold your thought.
no, because we already discussed this, and I want you to speak to this, and then maybe Diva can respond. Like, what do you have to tell us in the third world? Unsaon man nato pag how do we protect ourselves from all the tumult? I mean, like, how do we become better for everything that's happening, and not become the worse, if you will, as a human being?
I was listening on my way here, like while I was driving, and I heard you start talking about going to the church.
Yeah.
And it's a meditative environment.
Yeah.
How many times you go to church every month?
Not very often.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so hold your thought, because third world, we're not third world. This is not third world. We got resources, we got riches, we got people, we got technology, we got brilliant guys. And I'd like to really clarify that, because that's the narrative that the global conquistadors are still holding on right now. We got great minds around here. And anyway, that's just my statement. But going into the society where I'm in, I grew up here, never left here, just visited some places, but really based here. I think also you, Jiggy, right? You're based here, and you get to see, touch, feel, and experience whatever it is that we go by day to day. And I think, Diva, you're out of the country for a while, and then you come back. There's a lot of things that happens in a year, in 5 years, and so on. So there are a lot of changes, right? So in the term enlightenment, I think I'd like to say, because right now I think everybody's aware here in TMC, and Jiggy has been mentioning that I advocate for the Lumad or the indigenous.
Absolutely.
It's really timely that we go back to our ways that is innate of our geographical setting.
Absolutely.
And the people that is around it. Like, even here at TMC, we're looking, if we open the curtains.
It's too hot. It's too hot.
Yeah, I know. But if you're here
you're
at the
gonna
nighttime,
you're gonna fry her.
you're gonna be fried at now. But if you're here at the nighttime, I've been doing shows in the evening, and we do shows.
Must be beautiful.
It's beautiful. But what I'm trying to say is that we see the skyline, but what's in front of us in the horizon? Ocean, island.
Yeah.
This is, and truthfully, you cannot take that away.
I am an
We
island
are
girl.
an islander.
Everywhere I go.
Exactly.
I'm an island girl.
You are, because that's your makeup, that's who you are, that's your identity.
It's my soul, man.
Yeah, exactly. So the thing here is that we've been indoctrinized with a false sense of what you call pride right now, that we're gonna go to progress. We're gonna approach.
But what
progress.
does that mean?
Yeah, exactly. But along the way, we take out what is naturally in our makeup and everything we do.
Completely.
So when you want to be looking at specifically here in the island of Cebu, in the country of Philippines, just go look at the fisher folk.
Absolutely.
Just go look at the farmers who are doing their system from way, way beyond. Not
planting
applying
rice.
Yes, not
Yes.
applying this chemicals that they go
Yes.
shop at the chemical shop to make sure that
Yes.
it's sanitized for their crops. You look at the natural ones who just live in a hut, live simply day by day,
Absolutely.
follows the sun. When the sun goes down, when the cricket starts to sound.
That's all fine, right? What you're talking about, I love that. But we have a situation here when, if you farm a certain way and you don't provide for a certain number of people, then a lot of people will go hungry, right? So society has figured out a way to maximize the land and the crops, and has designed genetically designed crops that don't get affected by insects and
to
all.
a point that it destroys the land, destroys the soil. So
I actually don't believe in that, because being able to feed a lot of people without technology, I don't think it's possible. Because we've just grown exponentially. We're 8 billion strong,
but
right?
you can still do this and use the technology and science, but
use it properly.
But with a foresight of the future, because that's wonderful that you can feed people today. But what if you can't feed people 5 years from
That's
now?
true.
Because
I
they've
agree.
stripped the land of all the nutrients with the
Yeah.
chemicals that they put in it. And this goes back to very basic what I said earlier: grounding ourselves in the roots of who we are. We are island people,
Right.
and progress is wonderful. I believe in progress. I believe in technology, but in keeping with who we are. We are a nomadic, tropical island group of people, and without the roots of it, there is no progress. We have to own who we are. We are Filipino. We're islanders. And even though our influences, whether they're from Europe, whether they're from North America, if we are not true to who we are, then we'll always fall flat on our face.
Exactly what's going on every single time.
I say embrace technology and embrace and all the influences. But if we don't own like there was a story, I don't know, 20, 30 years ago, that the Americans went to Africa and they built this public housing, but they didn't take it into account that they were in the desert. So the public housing ended up being buried in sand. So, okay, great. So you bring technology and you bring like these first world solutions to help poverty.
Yeah.
But if it's not in the right application, then we'll be buried in sand.
Sand, or we'd be underwater.
We have to respect who we are and our roots before we can progress to wherever that might take us.
Yeah. But first, ground ourselves. And I like that you said about you look 10 years after, 20 years after, because all these technologies, man, I like to share this, yes. I'm also linked up with the agriculture department and so on. The chemicals are actually just for the moment. And they will sell you another chemical for you to treat it. Or another, and I would say, they call it fertilizer. But anyway, regarding that industry, we all know, I think at these days, we were actually aware of these situations, right? So in terms of like our ways, let me continue that part. If you look at our ways, when you go to the fisher folks, when you go to the local farmer who just lives day by day, that's a truly calming experience.
That's grounding.
That's grounding for me.
Me too.
then I feel like there's just that sense of stillness for me.
Absolutely.
That brings me back to like the days when it's very long.
I love
Months
it.
are very far.
Yeah.
And it's that experience is nostalgic for me. And that's why when you say back in our third world experience here, how do we become enlightened?
So do you think we can put the genie back into the bottle, or
It's
to
here
the
At the
today.
moment,
It's
yeah.
accessible. Jiggy, I think you've got this measuring stick that is a little bit skewed.
That's the skewed.
I love you so much. But the thing is this. Everything that he's talking about, and I've not articulated well enough, but thank you for helping me, is that all of this stuff is so attainable. Take a walk in a park.
Yeah.
Put your blinds down in your payag.
Yeah.
Or not, they don't have blinds, but just
They can make one.
but like just tone it down. And in silence, your days will be long.
Yeah.
And you can hear the birds chirp. Even if there's a hum of cars in the background, ground yourself. That is not a luxury. That is a God-given gift that in our busyness and in our life to try to attain and to progress and technology, we've lost the art of silence.
It's true. Exactly.
That is not a luxury. And which I was trying to get to earlier, Jiggy. It's not a luxury. It's a God-given gift that we've lost.
You notice that you are living right now in the suburbs, and when you are living in a more privileged place, like maybe where you are, Jiggy Juice, you get to hear the birds chirping. You get to hear the bustling wind on the leaves of the trees.
I love it.
If you look at the situation of almost everyone in the markers of society right now, right here in the center of the city, where they're living cramped up, you just hear noise, right? That's the tendency that we see of the situation people are at, because they've lost their ways. They haven't been connected.
No, but you can't deny that life has to still march on.
Yes,
so
of
as
course.
individuals, we're what's the word? We are invited
All right.
in the busyness
Mhm.
to have, even if you can only have 5 minutes of silence.
That's right. But
And even if that means you go to church or you pray, which you spoke about earlier, or how about you're in your bedroom and you just have silence, or you're like me. My best thinking is when I'm driving, I just shut off. You can steal moments where you can find contentment and grounding, so you can proceed in the busyness of your life. But I think it's really
No matter what socioeconomic strata you belong to, right?
No, absolutely. And in fact, and I mean no disrespect, and I am not versed or qualified to speak of that lifestyle, but I would even venture to say, with some risk, that the people that live in the countryside have more opportunity to contentment and peace because they have less clutter in their life, and they're actually just trying to take care of their basic needs. We forgot to take care of our basic needs because we want Louis Vuitton, we want a Ferrari, we want aircon, we want like a flash house. Our basic needs are actually affordable and attainable. And I say this with a lot of care because I don't come from this world.
Sakto jud ka, Dave. You're absolutely correct. we've forgotten to take care of our minds, our basic needs, right? Especially taking care of our mind.
It's not our mind. Our problem is our mind. It's our body. This is where
the vessel that carries all the information that you learn in school and in life. We are constantly inputting information on it, but we're not taking care of the vessel, the actual thing, and I think that's also equally important. But see, there's a thing now that's going on that even in places where you don't think would or desire Louis Vuittons and stuff like that, have already been reached by technology like the internet, and they are now aware of all of these luxuries. And a lot of these farming families, kids are already have graduated college and have left the farm to go abroad, right? So because of this technology thing, the internet has allowed us to know what is happening all over the world. So mura silang masuya ba?
Yeah.
They've also desired what would have been just us city dwellers desired, right? Because they now have access to what got lost, Deeps?
no, nothing. I'm
Okay.
listening to you.
Okay, no, seriously, maybe something dropped.
My chinilas, man.
Oh, your chinilas, your Spartan chinilas. See, she's an island girl.
I am an island girl.
So
Alright.
To the core.
What do we do with that? Like, this is one of the things that I feel like is unstoppable.
No,
you know?
but like I don't.
They already have access to all of these
So
things.
what's the problem? I don't know what your problem is.
They already know that these things exist. They already desire it. In fact, they're already leaving the farm to work abroad as a nurse or whatever.
So
right?
what's the problem?
The problem is that it would have been better if perhaps our internet perhaps would have been, I don't know, controlled. I don't know, or whatever. I don't know. I'm just presenting to you the real state of affairs, and I'm telling you, grounding is good. But once you have a peek at what can be and what you did not know existed, and now you desire and you covet the thing
I get your point, Jiggy Juice,
Yeah.
and that's the responsibility of media and influencers now. Because right now, I could see, I wouldn't want to say it's most, but I see a lot of influencers going into algorithms, and of course, people's algorithms. It's all about the same stuff, like success, progress. You can get this stuff, you can get that stuff, you can travel abroad. Right? I get what Jiggy means. That since it's available now, like everyone, when they have access to this, they get to see that, and that builds a desire, that builds an ideal.
But it's also an equalizing thing because suddenly knowledge of stuff and knowledge of the world
Right.
is accessible to every walk of life.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
look at it
yeah.
as an equalizer.
Okay. So that means that we could actually match up to what is the disparity of this
In
whole-
knowledge. It's an equalizer of knowledge.
Okay.
And then what do you do with this knowledge? So then you've got an abundance of knowledge. And depending on, what you like and follow,
Right.
suddenly your algorithm only shows you
Yeah.
the same thing
Exactly.
over and over.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
suddenly you're isolated. So you
Right,
think
right.
everybody only sees what pops up on
Yeah,
your
yeah.
on your searches or
Right.
on your Instagram or your
And
TikTok.
I get it.
That's
I like this.
I'm like on fire, guys.
I like where I'm heading right here. I'm like what you just said, and I like what you just said.
Okay.
And I think it's very timely, again, that TMC, especially we're here, having the access, because this is also our responsibility to contribute to the society.
Yeah.
What is it doing, and where is it going? And this conversation is great. I
awesome.
appreciate this.
No, but I think it's all with all the knowledge that we have at our fingertips, it really equalizes things. And I think that's what our society needs. And then after equalizing and realizing, okay, here's all this stuff, all this knowledge, we're just fed. And then you got to stop and think, okay, wait a minute, what am I looking at? There's a real responsibility. Like, okay, I believe that governments and influencers and
Yeah.
people of power, shall we say, have a responsibility. But actually, in all the knowledge that we have at our fingertips now, we actually have to say, okay, when's enough? When's enough? Okay, why have I been sitting in front of my iPad, computer, cell phone? Okay, when's enough? that's when you have to like turn off and go for a freaking walk.
Yep.
Have some water.
Or apply what you learn.
Apply, like we were talked
Apply
about
what
this.
you were looking
Like,
at.
I spent many years studying, consciousness and awareness, and which kind of fell on my lap. And then after all the podcasts and writing and journaling and all that, I went, now what? And the same goes with technology. Okay, I've learned this. My algorithm shoves this in my face. Now what? What do I do? What do I do with this now? Now apply it. Apply your knowledge so that it benefits you and your lifestyle and the life in which you wish to live, and then hopefully your application of all this knowledge will then benefit your neighbors, because that's what it's about, right?
Or
You
people
can't
watch.
benefit your neighbors, neighbors being followers, your silingan, your vecinos, whatever. If you are applying the knowledge for that really feels good for you, how can that benefit the people? How can that not benefit the people near you?
Before you continue, Devs, and by Jaya, we'd like to say hi and good afternoon to Joey Swako.
Oh, dear God. Joey.
He's actually watching and listening to us. Daghang salamat. Amitaf Agustin, Gail Kagiat, and Norman Tawap, and the rest of the guys. Thank you. Daghang salamat sa inyong pagtanaw. I think we stumbled upon this goal. I think my original goal was just to talk about empowered women because it's International Women's Month, and Diva I feel like is an empowered woman, and I tried to ask her to define what being empowered is. But I think we stumbled upon this thought. I was thinking about it just now, that we're actually, because the meditation movement, the wellness movement, its epicenter, I think, is in California, in Silicon Valley, right?
Well, in terms of what?
The Western version.
The Western version
of and all of that stuff.
Maybe.
That,
I don't know.
that-
You've been there.
That's what we are kind of practicing now, right? The watered down,
doing-
the yoga without the religion and all of that stuff, right?
Without
That's the
lifestyle.
that's the version that we're most of.
So like the women in Lululemon and Alu going up to, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, can I swear? I call bullshit.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So-
oh no. There are a lot
No,
of
it's
followers,
fine.
right?
No,
Like that.
it's
Yeah.
fine. It's cool. It's cool.
Let me just finish my thought, okay? What we're trying to do here, because it feels like something that's inaccessible to most people, because the version of wellness and being aware of yourself and all of this that stuff looks like it's something only for the rich. It, at least as perceived by most people, right? So I'm glad that we're having this conversation, that it's not true, that you can actually access this, like you said, in your taxi, in church, right? All of these things that are given to you we're surrounded by water, and to me, I think just looking at the infinity of water is a kind of meditation to me.
It is,
right? So we actually have all these opportunities to do whatever the rich are doing, and even in, like you said earlier, even more so than the most of the affluent worlds can do.
Even the sight of water is healing.
Yeah,
actually,
exactly.
That's why we need to see water. And here's the most ridiculous part. We got rivers, right? We are surrounded by rivers. Actually, Cebu City is so much speaking of Cebu City, we got so much waterways and riverways.
So much water. It had reached our kitchen, right? And our bedrooms.
We got flooded because of that. Right? The river spirit is angry at us. So the thing is that, like, going back, you know that there are communities here that do skimboarding, look for typhoon weather. I've been sharing this before. They are very happy, while the disaster management office would warn us, be careful, do not go to the water. These folks I'm with, like, they're my network of people that I go with. They get excited when it's typhoon time. Because we get the swell, we get the waves. And they go there and they find the water. When in this setting, we have, like, the authorities will tell you, don't go there. It's dangerous. So look at that lifestyle, like islander lifestyle. We go to another island, like not just Siargao, not just Iao, There's Leyte, who's calling us. Hey, come over here to our island, brothers.
Back in the day, it was let's just go to Mactan.
Somehow, before.
Let's take it back. Let's take it back.
Mactan was beautiful before, man. Right now, Mactan, you cannot go just the other side of the resort because it's being blocked.
They're gatekeepers now.
Gatekeepers.
You need cash to open the gates, right?
Oh yeah. So that's the Philippines, right?
Yeah, the Philippines.
Right. So that's what we have been looking at. I mean, we have been losing sight of because we allow the narrative to take over us when in fact we got riches, we got
the
beautiful.
narrative that, and it's something that doesn't come out of my mouth often, but the narrative that we're a third world country.
Yeah, that's why.
I
don't agree.
Me no gusta. Me no gusta. No, no.
So what should the narrative be?
There is no narrative
of the Philippines.
Get rid of the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
Fill your void with what you want your void to be filled with. Going back to what I said.
There is no narrative. What does that mean? Can you let me understand that?
Because we talked about this extensively. Why must we define ourselves as?
Because it's easier. Because we're lazy.
that goes for people who are lazy.
Yeah.
No, and fine. We need it in order to. We need labels. We need
an organizing mechanism. Organizing
religion
mechanism.
does that.
Yeah.
The Spaniards did that when they brought Catholicism here.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But now we're trying to be, and I hate this term, we're trying to awaken ourselves.
Why do you hate that term?
Right? Because
it has changed the meaning of that because it was politicized.
Well, I hate it when people say I'm woke.
Yeah.
So you're done?
Oh yeah.
No, that never ends.
Yeah,
Never
like I kind of know what happened there, especially if you talk about the word woke in the States because it became a politicized word, and the right just made it so bad that it was a derogatory
became that
word to describe somebody. He's woke. Don't talk to him or something like that, right? So, but
woke. How boring.
What exactly is woke as you knew it before?
No, to
all
me,
of
you know
this?
what woke means is past tense, that it's done. You're awake.
Okay.
So basically, I should be floating in what do you call this pose?
In cross-sitting position.
In
the Sukhasana.
Exactly, above a lotus leaf. Who wants to live like that?
Yeah.
This earth, this world.
So you don't.
this
So
studio-
you don't like the word woke.
No, again, I call bullshit because the thing is that every day it's a level. It's like being conscious every day. Every day you are being. I don't even like to use the word tested. Every day you're being tested on your awokeness. Let's simplify it.
Yeah.
You're driving in the traffic, and some mofo in a motorcycle cuts you off. So your test is: are you going to are you going to react to that? Traffic, whatever problem, in a sense of peace and an alignment, or are you going to go, you la la la,
Yeah,
you?
we had
la.
that conversation.
So what? I live in reality. Some days I react really well and I'm not affected by injustice or somebody cutting me off on the road, and some days. It all depends. Woke means I should be floating above a lotus leaf. No, this world.
So what does woke mean to you?
I don't think it exists, and it shouldn't exist in this world because this world needs us to react in whatever everything is perfect. Jiggy, I told you this. Everything is perfect, even if you're in the midst of uncomfortableness and sadness and trauma. You must understand, in my philosophy, it is actually perfect as it is.
Everything is sound.
Everything is as it should be, even if you're experiencing heartache, divorce, death, whatever. It's there to help us go to the next level.
Stage. There's a concept that they say we are just in a dream. Do you believe in that?
No, because that.
In a simulation, you mean? Like
Yeah, but a
Matrix.
simulation that we can create. Like I know,
There's simulation theory. Yeah.
this. The thing is
or
that.
other theories.
No, but I think like we're here on this earth to experience and to experience joy and pain, light and dark, to enjoy things like material things, to enjoy our bodies, to enjoy the thrill of whatever, sex, joy, sadness, all of it. This is abundance if we choose it. And then in the next life, who knows? But this is where we are
There's a
today.
choice again.
So why not choose
Yeah.
abundance versus lack? Why not choose joy instead of sadness?
I remember when I hear the word abundance, I remember the name Ezra Klein, who wrote the book on abundance a few years ago, and it became like this huge cultural moment in the United States. And I think I need you to define what you mean when you say like an abundance mindset. What does that
Right,
mean
yeah.
exactly?
Keep hearing that.
Yeah.
Abundance mindset is just really enjoying the moment, not thinking of what's happened in the past and what's not coming in the future. Right now, even though I'm like thrilled to be here and I'm excited and and it brings back wonderful memories of doing this with you in a different setting, it's like enjoying the moment of I'm loving the sound of my voice in the headset, feeling the coolness coming out of that air conditioning unit, and there's a stillness with this mic. I love it. Like it just drowns out the world, doesn't it? It's a wonderful thing. And so imagine collectively, moment by moment,
You're fully there.
you're fully there. That's abundance.
You know, Diva, you got to this point in your life when you're awoke or whatever.
No, I'm not.
Enlightened, whatever.
Yeah.
Let's just call it a name because it's easier. And we're in the business of communication, right? By the way, let's just hold that thought for a while. I just had this thought in my bedroom last night.
Oh,
when I was-
did you?
When I was about to fall asleep, I was thinking, right, like everything that we say about ourselves, the narratives we tell ourselves, and all that stuff is BS.
Absolutely.
Because who we really are cannot be described in words.
Absolutely.
So, for the sake of our listeners, right? I'm just going to use words. So I'm going to use enlightened, right? About you. You got to this phase in your life because of tumult. Because there's so many things that shook you to the core, and I think
Absolutely.
that goes the same for a lot of people, right? But yours is I would say more than most people. The tumultuous times in your life.
Funny that.
I'm curious. I'm curious, Dave. My question here is like, if you were not shaken by all of these events in your life, which you're free to mention, I'll give you the free hand to explain to our listeners and viewers exactly what kind of tumult I'm talking about. But if you were not shaken by these great tumultuous times in your life, would you have arrived at the same diva now?
10 years ago, I would have argued the point that, or debated or asked people,
Yeah.
do you have to experience pain in order to grow? And I would say, no, but I'm naive. I was naive. And now I really don't believe that you can learn and grow without experiencing difficulties and challenges in life. And I said this to you yesterday. I use this a lot to simplify it. It must hurt a caterpillar to grow into a butterfly. It can't be painless to shed skin. And when you reach my ripe old age, I've shed skin a few times now, you know, and I know the short answer is I don't think that I would have attained the level of compassion for myself and people around me if I did not go through the hard times that I have. Absolutely. And seeing the gift in the hard time. Now, am I saying it's easy? Hell no, it's not easy. It's not easy. But if you cannot see the gift in challenges, in darkness, in sadness, in death, and divorce, loss, and lack, then you're missing, if you're religious, the gift from God, gift from the universe, and the whole premise of what this life's all about.
So your suffering was actually a gift.
Abso-freaking-lutely. Absolutely. A gift of me being nudged into loving myself more.
Yeah, I also know this guy's tumultuous past, right? And I'm curious. I'm asking you the same question by Jaya. Like, would you have become enlightened if you didn't have all of these challenges in your life?
I don't think so. Because I know every part of my life was actually leading me here.
Absolutely.
And it was all filled with questions. It was all filled with a decision that was needed to be made. So of course, that basically is the reason why I'm here talking to you, and I'm able to take actions as well, because I learned that you get to see a lot of insights when you have done things, and it doesn't just stay in the thought bubble or from your mentor, from your teacher, and especially with that experience. And I think there's a lot more that's still there. And I still want to say that that path is towards it, but you haven't yet arrived. You haven't yet awakened. So the word,
That woke thing.
the
So
woke thing.
your past, your tumultuous past, allowed you to become who you are now.
That's definitely.
And you would
why
not
I'm
have
here.
been a yoga teacher and all of that stuff if you
Yeah.
did not experience all of these horrible things in life.
Exactly. I mean, being that teacher that I am, I was just mainly a guy who was hanging around in that cultship, right? But I'm talking about a cult which is actually a more traditional cult rather than the more woke cult. I'm saying.
I'm curious because if we live long enough in this world, you are going to experience tumult. You are going to experience suffering.
Jiggy,
right?
we're born with challenges.
Exactly. So could it be that
That's so
all of these
honest.
things that we have become, that you have become, are just defense mechanisms? A defense mechanism to minimize the pain, the suffering.
What defense mechanism? I don't understand.
I
Say it
wouldn't
again.
want to.
It is a way.
That way.
It is
I
a
wouldn't
way
wanna see
for
it that way.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
I'm not for or against it. I'm just saying
Right,
a defense mechanism,
Just
meaning to say a way for us to minimize the pain of living in this world. We have all of these things. Like some people, do drugs, and some people do whatever. Like some people start foundations, right? And all of these things, right? And some of us find meditation and enlightenment, and this is a mechanism for us to numb the pain, to stop the pain.
I think the
Could it
word
be
mechanism could
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
better than saying it's a defense mechanism.
Okay, what are your thoughts?
Just say it's the word, because we're just talking and making up words, right?
Yeah, yeah,
We're
yeah.
just finding words to
Yeah.
match a particular scenario or
Yeah, yeah,
experience
yeah.
or whatever it is we want to
Okay,
express.
mo man natong trabaho ba?
Ex-
We're
Word.
word crafters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wordsmiths.
Mechanism sakto.
Oh.
For me, I think these are mechanisms that we build along the way. So
What's
we
wrong
are
with defense?
crafting.
What's wrong
if
with
you
defense?
don't mind, I like to use the word tools. I like
Tools would be also good.
tools that allow you to cope with difficulties in life. But my belief is this: when you're challenged because of something, death, divorce, loss, whatever, I think that you wholeheartedly have to lovingly embrace that challenging time. It's a hard thing to understand, maybe, but you have to lovingly embrace that, because if you use a mechanism, the word that you use, to numb it down, it will reoccur and reoccur and reoccur and gets louder and harder and more painful until you lovingly embrace it. When I say lovingly embrace it, I mean accept it for what it is. Understand the gift of that difficulty. Let's use finances as an example. Okay, you're freaking broke. How did you get broke? Let's lovingly embrace the fact that you made poor decisions. Therefore, without judgment, that's why I say lovingly embrace. Lovingly embrace your poor decisions so that you accept that you've made poor decisions and don't do it again.
Yeah.
A mechanism is, or numbing it down is, it's okay. I did okay. It's like you accept it,
one of the
but you don't understand.
One of the hard truths about society is sometimes your brokenness, your being broke, is actually not your fault. Sometimes they're just opportunities that present to people that they don't have. Some people don't have. Sometimes it's the role of other people. Let's just say governments, for example, to give their people opportunities and all of that stuff. So sometimes you're right. I mean, like, you can only do so much, right? But if you live in a society that does not allow for that, that might be too much of a stretch.
I said, I'm not qualified in the least bit to speak on that level. But I think that if you have 20 pesos and you spend 20 pesos on cigarettes instead of food, that's a poor decision.
Yeah, absolutely.
So versus I have 20 million pesos and you make a poor investment. I'm saying
that's the same. You're saying they're the same.
It's the same. And not only that, I don't like to lay blame on other people. I think it's really important as an individual, and I invite other people to debate this, but victimizing yourself because of governments and victimizing yourself because of circumstance when, things can be crap, but then how do you react with that? Okay, I've got 20 pesos. Do I buy isda or do I buy cigarettes?
And see, that's the thing. These are things that is in the realm of, in our case, religion, right? And sometimes religion can be cryptic. Sometimes, it's impossible to decipher and all of that stuff. But the way we talk about it now is in a kind of Zen, Stoic, maybe enlightened way of looking at the world is rarely taught in school, right? And it has a shape and form that I was telling you about in religion, right? And sometimes, although parts of religion actually sound exactly the way we're talking about it now, how to deal with the world, sometimes it's kind of what I'm saying is this: what we're talking about today is important to be taught in public schools. That's all I'm saying.
I agree.
These are important precepts and concepts and ideas. And mahadlok magud ang uban bay, like people get scared, especially those fundamentalist believers, that if we teach these things, this might replace religion, Christianity, Catholicism, and all of that stuff, right? I think that's the fear. Iba mo man ang itabo nga ay pag yoga, don't do yoga because what are you gonna become? You're gonna become like a Buddhist or whatever, right? So there's always a fear of especially in this very Christian Catholic country.
No, but you're talking about an institution and not the faith. There's a huge difference. There's Catholicism, the institution, and there's Catholicism, the faith.
Yeah.
So faith is being,
that's the reason why we're not heavily taught in schools because of the institution. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and we live in a country where we're, I say loosely, but there's so many of us that you need to organize.
Yeah.
And to organize means you have to put parameters around everybody. And so people are living within these boxes and they don't even know what they're doing, but they just know that this is how you do it. And that's why when you ask somebody a question that you meet, let's say in a department store, they have no idea because they've never done it before. Meanwhile, it's as simple as, as an example, or a stupid example, I said, what's the size of this? It was in a box. I was buying frames. And she goes, let me ask. I go, wait a minute, just turn it over and read.
It's in the label, right?
We get lazy because this is my box and I stay in my lane. I stay in my lane. How sad, diba? How sad. Let's stay in our lane. Meanwhile, God, the universe, whatever, has said, your lane is huge. Where do you want to be, man?
And I don't think most people see that. I don't think, being in your lane, especially, for example, if you're an immigrant in another country, most Filipinos that I know, a long time ago, but it's dramatically changed now, they just want to stay in their lane and be invisible so that, nothing happens and, they'll get whatever they want.
Be a nurse, be a caregiver. We're known for that. And it's good. I commend it. But
what is wrong with that?
Nothing.
What is wrong with being little? What is wrong with being in your lane? Because we talked about this earlier on. It's about your peace of mind, right? What if being in your lane is fine with you? What if you like that? What if you've embraced your size, that you're small, and you're just going to have some peace in your small little corner of the world because that's what you chose? Do you think it's a good choice?
Well,
to be little, to be invisible?
I don't think you or I or anybody measures anybody's life. I'm not qualified, and I don't measure one's success, whether they're big or small. It's not my position. I can only do that for myself. So that's my short answer, my only answer. Because if you think you're little, then you're not living life. But it's not for me to say you're living little.
So what does it even mean when Diva, when you say living life? What does that even mean? Like, is there like a way to live life? Like, what
talking about it.
What is that? What does that mean? You mentioned earlier. I think I got a glimpse of that earlier when she said, "It's living your truth, yourself, being yourself in this world. That's living the life." What are your thoughts on that? What does it mean to you, by Jaya, as a yogi, to say that you're living the life? What is the life? Where's the brochure on that? Because I haven't seen it.
Since you mentioned that, what is it for me?
Yeah,
Living the life, and then you just mentioned yogi. I like to clarify that I shy away from using the term because I respect that a lot. And to become a yogi, you wouldn't even see me here. You wouldn't even see me doing the stuff that I do.
Okay, shame
but
on you.
I'm on my pursuit to be one, but I'm still there. I'm still going on with those challenges. I'm going on day by day. But living the life of an enthusiast of mindfulness and connection and awareness and a passionate guy for culture. I think everything that that's why you have to capture each and every moment. Everything that it is I'm trying to do right now, I want to be there. I want to be present. And I want to be able to utilize the gifts that I have, the skills and whatever that hold me now. And I want to make it available all the time.
Oh, good.
Right? Because if I just keep it in my head and I just show it because I'm being paid for it or something, I just want to make it available for most people, just to help. Because I think that just this small thing that some people might see, that's already for me very valuable. There are other people who see that valuable and they value you. And that's why, okay, there are people who values you, you give them help. But there are also some people that doesn't see that value, but you could still give them help. And I also give some time to them. But again, just being smart to make sure that the abundance is there and I'd be able to utilize this even more and to get more reach. That's why you see me here. That's why I'm going through the things that I'm doing right now. So living the life and being present.
So you're also living the life.
Living the life that I am heading to. I'm still heading to somewhere, but I'm trying to.
Where is somewhere?
This is really, there are these goals that I have.
Okay.
You know,
Give us one piece of that somewhere.
Yeah, I want to know.
Yeah, I wanna
what
know.
do you see?
Because we don't.
Yeah, no,
I know
no.
you would like to hear this.
No, I want to see, what do you envision? What are you trying to manifest for, let's say, 5 years?
Yeah,
5 years out.
Let's say 10, 20 years.
Okay, all right.
This Islander community
I love
would
that.
see who they really are authentically as an identity that was hidden way, way in the past that could not even break its shell right now just because of these doctrines, these mechanisms that are built along the societies that we are able to master and go back to the mastery of navigation, that we can always utilize the water. We would not be afraid of the tides. We would not be afraid of typhoons and all these man-made disasters and calamities. We are going to embrace that, and there's a lot of stuff or activities for the youth that's available, utilizing what we see right now in front of us, the waterways. We are going back to our identity, that we are not going to be enslaved with just these particular doctrines that was provided to us for a very long time. And we're not going to be averted to seeing people in tattoos.
How does it look like? How will it manifest in society?
In society right now, Cebu City would not
Your dream.
for Cebu.
How
like,
will
let's
that
just say,
manifest itself?
For Sugbo, like in general, Cebu would be seeing more availabilities of transportation in the water. We are now having some availabilities of like trading in the water because that's what we're known of. And we
we're trading in the water. The Cebu is the central shipping hub in
He's
in
talking
Philippines.
about
What do you mean?
bygone
the
time.
physical one. I'm
okay.
looking at the physical one that there are physical actual trading that's just near the coast. It would not be the way it would look like in this certain, I don't want to say the barangay, but it's full of trash right near SRP. Instead, there are trading going on there. There are boats right at the sides.
So you want us to go back like 1,000 years or something?
No, man. You cannot say that. You don't have to say it's 1,000 years ago. It's still there. The water doesn't lie.
No, but like I said, we are the trading capital of the Philippines when it comes to shipping, right?
But I'm not talking about these goods that are coming in. I'm talking about trading.
What trading are you talking about?
Trading, like you see people go to the malls, right?
Yeah.
What if people just paddles
Okay.
their small vessel? Because it's part of lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's healthy.
Yeah.
They paddle all the way there,
Yeah.
and there are more people, and there are more access, and there are those gatekeepers, you say, are going to be broken because people can
I
walk
understand what you're saying
along
now.
the coastlines.
I can
Jiggy, he's not talking about commerce.
I'm not talking
he's
about
talking
just
about
plainly
access
commerce.
to water.
I'm imagining.
Waterways.
I'm imagining you, Deeves, like rowing the bangka to Badjan, right?
Of course, that's not that far. She
Can I
wouldn't
tell
go
you
that far.
No, can I tell you something? I got to tell you something. This is crazy to me because I don't believe in any coincidences. I have this very good friend who's an author about consciousness back in Spain. She's family to me. Her name is Guillemar. And she said to me one day, Fran, you know, when I think about you, I see you rowing to an island because you're an island girl. Because I was going through a difficult time. She goes, Fran, the islands are calling you to row. I got goosebumps just telling you because I was going through a difficult time. It meant that I had to, go back to my roots. That was true to me.
Right.
And like I'm really lucky because where I've chosen to live, we have access to water all the time. There's no buildings. People are like, you can, there's open space by the water. There's no buildings.
Are you talking about Spain or Badjan?
Not Bajan because there's houses on the road on the shoreline now.
Right,
But where I live in Spain, I can literally rock up with my lawn chair and bring a Tupperware of whatever and sit there and watch the stars without traffic, without a bug, without and okay, there might be somebody, a few yards or a few meters down, but they're respecting my space. And this is where I'm not living in like nowhere. Like this is, and I would never go do this during the summer because it's, very touristy. But the shoreline's completely available, and I understand what you're saying. The availability to ground yourself near the water because we are island people.
Yeah.
Punto. Period.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it. So she's getting my point.
So
I
she
get
sees
you,
my
man.
vision.
I get you, man.
So
I
that's
get you.
So that's your vision. That's where somewhere
it's
is.
not rocket science, man. These things are doable, but we're now facing the truth of how people have been so indoctrinated and so hard to get them to break that, or let's say get out of the cloud.
Yeah.
So for them, it's still ways to go. There's a lot of, that's why for me, I've been organizing stuff. I've been organizing healing the waterways, going to the ancestral realm and praying and thanking them, and then realizing and of course recognizing the roots of animism that's still there, so that people would still have that heart that, oh, I'm connected to nature. Nature is not separate. I am part of it.
That's part of the grounding that I was talking about.
You mentioned animism, right? You mentioned the waters and the trees and nature and all of
What's
that stuff.
animism?
That's our old ways of spirituality.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that was was precisely what the Spaniards
Wanted us to steer away from.
right?
Yeah.
That this is you're
Demonized.
you're praying to water. You're praying to a tree. Oh, are you crazy? Right? There is a deity. There is a God. Right? The Judeo-Christian God. Right?
Yeah.
So do you think that has had something to do with the way we're going away from our true nature, which is
I definitely think it
nature.
started there, and now
right,
it's just commercialism.
Yeah.
Now it's about the desire to have. In light of development, let's put a hotel on the shore. Let's build roads where there should be trees. But yeah, sure. I think the church as an institution used it to control the people that were pagan.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But like we can't. You can call it pagan, but there is nothing blasphemous about enjoying water,
Or
enjoying trees,
sun worshiper.
clean air.
Yeah.
These are basic needs to be able to touch the earth,
Yeah.
get in clean water,
Yeah.
drink
Exactly.
clean water.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you see this transformation right now. For me, in my lens, I see a transformation where slowly and slowly these are integrating. I think even all over the world, because the indigenous is now rising up and
Because
waking up.
technology, I have access to stuff about history about the Philippines I never had before because of technology.
Exactly, thanks to technology. That's a good
Equalizer.
side of it. Yeah, equalizer right now. Because I think for what I see, that foresight that I'm actually seeing is that there's a good sense where we are now going to still pray to the sun, pray to the water, but it does not deviate you from what your choice of belief system is. It does not take you away from your deity.
Like,
Right.
listen, I can enjoy the sun and worship the sun because of the heat that it gives me when I'm cold in the morning, and enjoy, whatever. But that doesn't mean that I'm not, let's say, Catholic or Jewish or whatever faith you are. The earth is a gift in what it provides us. It doesn't take away from whatever faith you have. I have a difficulty with the institutions of the faith, but the faith in general is very good.
You can't take away the faith from that religion.
And you
but
can't
can
take away
always-
the truth that the sun gives us warmth. The sun allows things
realistic.
to grow. We need water in which to hydrate plants, the earth, us.
We're talking about ultimate truth yesterday with Jiggy. This
Uh-huh.
is an ultimate truth. You can't take away the sun. You
That's
take
not-
away the sun, we're done.
We're so done.
All right? And that the animism is very much related to ultimate truths. Despite all the demonizing, despite the wrong information that's coming out there, it's really true, man. We worship them because these are providers of our life forces.
They say that we all want to build a world that agrees with us. That's all we're trying to do, because we don't want to seem crazy, right? Like if you're in a religion of one person, you go to church alone, that feels like weird. What the hell am I doing here? You feel left out or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you start converting people, then you're not so crazy anymore, because there are like 100 people in the room or 1,000 people in the room. So we're all trying to build a world that agrees with us, because we want to be right. We want to say, hey, I chose the wrong way of looking at the world, and I am not a crazy person. What we're talking about here is a way of looking at the world, right? It's a way of being, and you guys think that it works for you, right? My question here is this: do you think we are going to be in a better world if the way you look at it is being believed by more people?
I think that every single day we are gifted with the opportunity of choosing compassion and love as we proceed. So I'm not creating a world for me. I'm living a life for me that respects myself and respects the people around me. I see that the world is moving forward despite everything that you say, because all the hardships that we see, all the wars that we're seeing, they're here to show us ourselves and to allow us to be more conscious, aware of who we are, what's important to us, and how we proceed to go towards what's important to us. And I think technology, with all the knowledge out there, Jigs, is that it's allowing us to see it's all there. Now it's about, what do we click on? What do we follow? What do we prescribe to? I think opportunities are always there for us to make the right choices. And then exponentially, because me and how many people I know, and how many people you know, and the millions of followers of Kim Kardashian, hopefully, exponentially, this will make a difference. I know, actually, I don't say hopefully. I know it will make a difference.
Right.
What do you, by Jai, what do you think? Do you think we'll live in a better world if they looked at the world the way you do? Or is diversity important? Is diversity of thought important? Is your ideas of what the world ought to be should be there should be like a complete polar opposite of it somewhere in the world, so that you will know exactly whether, like a kind of navigation tool for you to know where you are, because you're bumping into this doctrine, this theory, this philosophy, and it's not the way you look at the world. And hey, like maybe you can also self-correct. I don't know. do you the question remains though? Do you think we will live in a better world if they looked at the world the way you did?
I'd start with a better Cebu. I'd start with a better.
Yeah,
island.
I meant Cebu. Yeah,
I'd start
a better Cebu. Yeah.
with our community because again, I went into that the team of leaderships around here, and I tried to play my part. And you could see that there's all these difficulties that are coming and rising right now, and these are all just actionable stuff. You could actually take actions, and what I've been presenting and the idea that I'm coming out in the open is that we could always go back home. That is always my thing. Always come back home. You always come back home.
Always.
And I'm calling forth everyone else who's living a dream, okay? Who's living an aspiration that wasn't really true to themselves, true to where they are, is to wake up and just know that you are in a good place, you are in a warm place, while other people are in a cold place and struggling. Here, there are struggles, yes. But if we just go back our ways and just recognize that, we could still do a lot. We could still experience what we are actually missing a lot on. We could enjoy the moment. As simple as just, finding a tree and hugging a tree and recognizing that this is alive rather than this is a furniture material. It's a whole different thing. And again, commerce compared to, I'd say, lifestyle, I would really want to encourage that. Let's go back to our way so that you can right now experience the lifestyle we have been missing a lot.
It's basically an imbalance, right? Because
There's
I'm
an imbalance,
I'm
highly
not,
imbalanced
I'm
right
not
now.
against commerce. I'm not I'm not against technology and progress. Of course, the exact opposite. But in everything in life needs balance.
That's true. And how could we even see the balance there when we were just seeing it one way?
No, we actually there's a mechanism of seeing the imbalance because when there's a great injustice, a great lack, we overcorrect. I think that's what happened to, let's just say, feminism, for example, right? It overcorrected itself, and I think there's an imbalance now, and
that
then
caused that,
and
gave birth to a lot of the other.
Yeah. So there is a mechanism for the societies to correct imbalances because the tendency is if there's an injustice, we overcorrect, and then the other force comes in, and we hit a certain middle ground of the thing that we were trying to change.
And with that mechanism that you're talking about, nature will always have its own mechanism that will build along the way.
Yeah.
There will always be a counter opposition or whatever.
Okay. You know what? The way we're talking now, I think we're gonna talk forever and all of that stuff. But there's one thing that I still want to talk about that might be relevant to this conversation because we're talking about enlightenment in this tumultuous times with empowered women like Francis Rodriguez, otherwise known as Diva in my former radio station, Y101. Maayong buntag mo diya or hapon mo King Philip.
And
Ian Buseo.
Maayong hapon diha kaninyong duha.
Kaila ka nila?
Si King ug si Ian.
Mga gwapo ni sila.
Perting gwapuhan ng duha.
Taga Cebu ni sila or mga Tagalog. Baka mga kabaw ito. Ano to?
Baka kabaw na sila.
Anyway, the rate that, first of all, the rate that the Philippines embraces technology is unbelievable, right? The Philippines is number one in Facebook and social adoption when it comes to social media. We were the highest rate of usage in any country of the world, right? In fact, we became a testing ground for a lot of things.
Can I ask you, just to be the devil's advocate, why is that a bragging point?
No, I'm not bragging about it.
Oh, okay, all right.
I'm not.
I
am not bragging about it.
okay.
Like I said, we
is
became.
Is that so? I didn't know that.
We became
Oh.
a testing ground for some ideas for other governments to use eventually in their own governments, in their own political situations. So my question here is, we embrace social media fully. Now, the next new technology is artificial intelligence. And I'm sure as the sun will rise tomorrow, that we're also going to embrace it as a people. And this is going to be a very tumultuous time in our lives because there are entities that are smarter than us and perhaps more enlightened than us, right? Called artificial intelligence. My question here, I guess, is this. when you're looking out there by Jaya, when you're looking at the future, the 5-10 year frame that you're looking at, the waterways and all of that stuff, and when you're looking at what your end goal is, Deebs, like with all of this technology disrupting humankind, like where are we landing on this? Asa man ta padung ani, like what do you see? Because I haven't mentioned artificial intelligence when you try to craft the future that you're looking at. Also, I haven't mentioned it yet. But there is a thing that's probably the greatest disruptor of all, bigger than the wheel, right? When we first invented the wheel, like what are your thoughts on that? Where are we headed when people will lose their perhaps jobs, or there's an entity that knows you more than your mother, and so on and so forth. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I totally know. Yeah. And I, in general terms, I really don't live in fear.
Mm-hmm.
I see the gift in technology, even AI. I use it all the time, by the way.
Show us the gift.
The gift of knowledge and simplifying life. Will jobs be lost? Yes, but that means new jobs will come up.
Mm-hmm.
It's an evolution. It's an evolution of society as a community, if you want to call it sugbo. So things end and new things begin. Technology becomes old and archaic, and new ones come and replace it. I think that we're at the cusp of
So you think it's one of those? This is like the Industrial Revolution. You think that automation replaced a lot of people, and another job will appear. So you think that AI is also like that?
We're going to have to think on our feet.
You think that you're going to lose your job, but another job is going to present itself.
It's part of the evolution of humanity, man. Like this stuff didn't fall on our lap. AI has been used for so many years, but now it's available to the masses.
But this is not just AI, this general artificial intelligence, right? AI has been used for a long time, but general artificial intelligence.
But now it's just accessible to everybody now. Like I can build I have a marketing background. I can build a marketing plan for a client and call it my own.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that, Jaya?
It's that responsibility is also very important.
Yes.
Like I was just talking about all these are a natural, that's a natural outcome. Still part of a natural outcome.
What's a natural outcome?
It's actually because of our doing. Like this is bound to happen. Like availability of AI now has to have a sense of responsibility as well.
Always. Just like social media, you need to have a sense of responsibility.
Because right now it's available to everybody, right?
But is it Australia or New Zealand? They're putting laws.
Australia.
So if you're 14 or whatever,
16,
the age is, I think that's good.
It became a law, and I think everybody's following suit.
That's where responsibility comes in.
Yeah.
So I'm not seeing anything bad about it because it's already there. You cannot take it away unless there will be like a great outage and would destroy all these, main computers that is available doing this. But as it is actually already here, we might actually as well do the natural, again, the natural way of nurturing it. Okay.
So how do you naturally nurture an entity like that?
Well, I think
a lot of people
it's in the home. It happens in the home. It happens in the home of social media. Like we want to say that the governments and the schools should be responsible for a healthy relationship with social media, with TikTok, with Facebook, with Instagram. Actually, it starts with the home. Let's simplify it so it's in bite-sized, attainable pieces. So with AI, also they have algorithms and softwares now that can detect AI when a child submits an essay in university or high school. Like it starts with educating at home.
Yeah.
Right?
I sense that AI is also building morality, even more than just a typical human right now.
It's valuing humanity more.
It is. I even saw that, right? Yeah, they're even more, sensible compared just to a typical human being who's really living like.
But I want to attack this story from your vantage point, from your being awakened, from your being.
Why are you attacking us, man?
No, pardon me for the words, man.
Right,
words,
so
man.
anyway.
But you know what I'm talking about. I want to look at this from that vantage
you
point.
want to follow through and.
Yeah, because what you're trying to do is to have an inner journey, right? To look at yourself, to be present, right? Yeah. And there's this thing that's out there
developing.
That's developing.
But it's tools to help us.
Yeah, and they're
to help us what?
I don't know, make my life easier. Like for instance,
So
when I-
your life is not easy yet.
No, it's easy.
Easy enough.
no, it's easy.
Like like for example, the escalator, the bicycle, the car, right? When we could have climbed the stair, or like walked instead of rode, and all of that. So
We
these
talk
are
about
things.
mechanical stuff.
These are things that made life easier, but also made us unhealthy, right?
If again,
Because
if
things
not
are so-
used
Because things
responsibly.
are so easy now. We have to
Yeah.
go to the gym to get some real exercise. Back then, we didn't have a staircase because they're actual stairs.
use stairs.
Yeah.
There's still stairs
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Again, it's about responsibility where you start to understand that we could always use the stairs. It's
Yeah.
available.
Yeah.
But if we ever use the elevator, if you're carrying a lot of stuff,
But our
and you're-
nature is laziness.
I don't think our nature is laziness. I think it's
you,
because of
you don't you don't do the easy thing.
not necessarily. We're trying to find a way to simplify
Efficiency.
and become more efficient. I think that's
Efficiency.
true.
Like that's
Like technology for me is about giving me more time to do stuff I love.
that's the capitalist mentality, efficiency to maximize.
I think it's a very conscious thing.
To maximize resources, right? To make the most out of this piece of land, right? To make the most out of my people, to maximize productivity,
But let's also
efficiency,
let's
right?
also open that up for stuff that is actually more beneficial for us. We're not always going to, I would say, make them look bad about it because they're maximizing profits and so on. I'd like to say that we would also want to make sure that these are efficiency is also measures for us to be more efficient as
For
a
ourselves.
person.
Yeah.
Yes.
That we're valuing our health and we want to make sure that we can utilize our time, right? I keep me for example, ako ang gibuhat, I always drive my motorcycle so that I don't end up becoming a victim of waiting game. Okay?
Yeah, in traffic.
Because I could always choose to drive a car, which I have access to, but again, I'd like to be everywhere because I'm mobile and I
It's more efficient for you to be on the bike.
and yes, and I can go around as quick as like
And I use
hours of
AI
differences.
I was traveling to South Africa and I wanted to know what I could do in this one area. I was in Cape Town. And I used
and then
AI,
for
what to do in 3 days in Cape Town or something ridiculous like that. But again, garbage in, garbage out. So if you're not careful in putting your words together,
That's right, yeah.
what you put in, if you don't put enough time and effort and thought
Yeah.
in what you put into technology or even social media,
then it would
garbage
give you
in,
something.
garbage
Right.
out.
You know what?
right.
I remember the line from Tom Cruise in the movie Top Gun. He said, "Out there, if you think you're dead." You know, the competition for AI is going to be who does it first, right? And it's similar to the Cold War, right? China and the United States are trying to outdo each other when it comes to artificial intelligence. So the reason why AI is developing at such a fast pace because there are no guardrails. The moment you put guardrails, you're going to stop the progress because you're gonna you're gonna be limited
Yeah.
in trying to develop it. So they're saying what I'm saying is when you're gonna think like that, then the other guys who don't have any guardrails will win in this so-called AI race.
It all depends on what those guardrails or these limitations are, right? If they're in order to kind of protect whatever we're trying to protect. But then again, who gets to say what needs protecting? Who gets to say that this is a moral or ethical issue? I have a real difficulty in understanding.
The powers that be.
Yeah, but
They're the guardrails. They're the moral.
But then-
unfortunately for
yeah,
us,
but that's why I don't know even where to begin to discuss that because who says they are the ones with a measuring stick? Who says they, whether they be politicians or cardinals or popes? I don't care. We're all fallible.
Yeah. We got a comment from like I would like to
Go
also
ahead.
involve
Okay.
those that are listening intently right now.
Okay,
Here's
okay.
Celestial Garuda. You want to say?
Go
you
ahead.
wanna-
Read.
Want me to read that?
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, let me go. Like he's saying that he's been listening for almost an hour.
Well, thank you first of all. God bless
Thank you, my
God.
brother,
Or
man.
the universe blesses you. Go on. Continue.
And just want to share some thoughts. I believe indoctrination has somehow manufactured our way of life, belief, lifestyle, point of view, faith, identity, behaviors, etc. Somehow people that become interested with spirituality is more likely to become aware of these things In general, it just leads you to awareness of different aspects of reality, both personal and collective. I believe our nature is more on thriving.
Absolutely.
Our nature
were
is more
actually
on
talking.
thriving.
I like this man.
Celestial. I think I know this brother.
What
He's
is
RG.
what does he mean when he says
Our nature.
thriving? What does that mean? What is thriving to you in that context?
Thriving means constantly improving, like leading to that efficiency. It's like
Oh wow.
we wanna try to
Because
always.
I pushed back on that when that was mentioned earlier by Diva about
Diva.
efficiency, because
Yeah.
what's the goal? If you want to be improving constantly and becoming more efficient, so you become more you become more you if you're the most efficient that you are.
Let me go back
Because
to
let me just
Which one?
add one more.
Mhm.
They say that being aware, being meditating, is one of the most useless things in the world. What that person meant when he said that is not that it's useless. It's just its purpose is just exactly what it says, just being present. That's all. People
Who said that, by the way?
I think it was Dan Harris, the guy who wrote 10% Happier.
That's the problem there. 10% happier. That's some bad numbers.
Let me finish the thought. What he's saying is, we're applying it to capitalism. We're applying it to businesses, to our careers, right?
Yeah.
But the main purpose of meditation is just to be present. Period. That's what he's saying.
Yes.
Nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And that's the gift in meditation, is that you're present. You don't need to be more efficient because you meditated. You don't want to be more productive because you meditated. The gift of meditation is that you're just present.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's what he's saying.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
But
To-
I don't think
Oh.
efficiency and meditation, you can't put those two words
Yeah,
together.
exactly.
Yeah.
Because he did. He said efficiency, and you become a better whatever.
Well, I was just trying to address the thriving word.
Yeah.
Because let me give you an example of
Mm.
as a let's say as a lineage
Mm.
or as a people, islander people.
Mm.
If we were not applying efficiency in the way we navigated the waters,
Mm-mm.
I don't believe you arrived all across islands here.
But the way that we're doing it now
Mm.
is more efficient.
Exactly.
So
It
that's what
led
I'm
us
saying.
to where we
so,
are.
so no, wait a minute. So what I'm saying is, capitalism,
Mhm.
the economy allowed for us to desire efficiency because we wanted to have more yield. We cover more land or more water, right?
But I guess that's the part we're lost.
Yeah.
That's the part we're lost.
Yeah.
Because
So
again,
it's not about efficiency. It's not about becoming more productive, I think.
the word "more" is actually the thing that I have
Mm.
to
Mm.
express here.
Mm-mm.
The word I had a brother who also asked me because I
Mm.
posted something about our migration before. Why did we migrate?
Because that was our nature.
See?
We were nomadic.
We were nomadic.
Yeah.
We discovered that we can now
And
conquer
we
the
were
waters.
no, but we were hungry too. We were nomadic because we were looking for food.
This
what-
is during the ice ages, right? Where we
Yeah,
have land
yeah,
bridges.
yeah,
but
yeah,
when the land already broken and separated, that's where we
When the
developed
ice melted,
canoes,
yeah.
right? We developed, and then we experienced years and how many hundreds of years being wiped out. Our boats sank. A lot of our families were all swept away. But here's the thing: we developed more, and we utilized that being efficient, I would say.
Mm.
So the thriving that I would like to express here is that
But,
we were able to really
the desire for efficiency has led us to AI. The desire for efficiency has led us to all of this technology.
again
And,
everything's
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
Jiggy Juice,
yeah.
but it's really about the word "more"
Mm.
that I disagree, because when we ask for more, then we lose a lot as well. So that's the point where responsibility has to kick in. And all these.
So your goal is not to be more efficient. You're just going to be efficient.
I think
is-
that's
is-
that's a better way of looking at it.
Okay.
Honestly, they're just words.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Nakapoy yun ko.
I'm sitting here.
Well, like-
I'm already getting a headache, man. So.
Nakapoy, we're chasing our tails.
Yeah,
guy.
exactly. Because, like I said, everything is BS. Anything that is not BS has no words for it, right? So everything that we're
I think
talking.
efficiency is part of our evolution, right?
It is always.
And if you don't take tools and technology and utilize it to
And invent the wheel, for example.
and to allow yourself to buy more time to do what you want,
Yeah.
then
You know,
Yeah, man.
I always say this in conversations. You know, if we were just satisfied
yeah.
inside the caves, we would have been fine. But we got out of the caves. The cavemen got out of the caves and I want more.
fire.
Fire! You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was the beginning of
That's a nice reel that you're trying to create
yeah, man.
with AI, maybe.
Yeah. So Deeves, you know, you were born and raised in Canada, had a chance to live in the Philippines in Cebu for 5 years, and you have lineage here in Cebu. You have a house in Bajan. Your parents retired there.
Why ka mo Bisaya lagi?
Yes. I almost wanted to say it almost came out in Spanish. I'm not a linguist. That's something I'm very
but
embarrassed
5 years you lived here only?
Yeah, but-
And then Mayo ka mo Bisaya? Really?
about.
Okay lang.
So
yeah,
and then
Mayo.
you're able to
So I'm on the spot, so now I can't say a thing.
you're able to travel around the world. So many
Yes.
tumultuous things happen to your life, and you were able to open an art
Gallery.
gallery in Spain. And we have a lot of women who are listening to us right now because it's
Aspiring to
International Women's Month,
Right.
and would like to be able to achieve a lot of things, and would like to be empowered, and would like to use the same tools that you're trying to use to ground yourself. Can you speak to those women out there who are still trying to find their way?
You know,
Go ahead.
God, I'm on the spot.
Yeah.
you should call this show On the Spot.
On the
There's no On the
spot.
Spot right
Yeah.
now.
On the
Okay.
spot with Jiggy.
No, seriously. Like,
Yeah.
No, really, I just think-
how did you do it? Is the simple question.
Well, it's a never-ending journey, isn't it? It's a never-ending journey in finding myself because I change all the time. Like in my situation, I think my life has come in 10-year chapters, and I'm not the same person I was in my first chapter, and I'm just beginning a new chapter now. So it's embracing change, and sometimes change is painful and difficult and frightening, but embracing that. I think embracing wherever you are, whether it's comfortable or uncomfortable, and always being ready for any opportunity. Like when I say ready, I mean like full on ready, like geared up, dressed up, lipstick on, your best self, and ready with open arms, both physically and in vibrationally.
Right.
To say, come on, bring it on.
Bring it on.
This is how I live.
Yeah.
Like honestly. And I think I've been like this since I can remember, since I was 9. And my friends in Spain, they call me their abundance guru. It's not something that I put on. It's not something that's contrived. It's because I gear up every day, ready for whatever, with like joy and excitement, like a silly little girl. And I think that's why I've been as fortunate as I've been.
It's the way you are.
Ready
Doing
for
your
whatever.
ways.
That's kind of scary. Ready for whatever.
I love it. I love it.
While
Even
others-
even while I've been like in the midst of like sadness and divorce and death, like the truth be told, the reason why I'm in the Philippines this time around is my dad just died
Oh.
at the beginning of February.
Our
And my
condolences.
friends, thank you. My friends and everywhere is like, I'm so sorry. And it's been like, Fran, Deeves, it's been like one bad thing after another. And I'm like, has it? And I'm serious. I have to go, has it? Oh yeah, bitaw, maybe a little bit. But I don't look at it that way. It's just life unfolding. Life unfolds. And it's freaking beautiful.
So let your life unfold, because the unfolding is beautiful.
And be open. Be open. I think I've unconsciously empowered myself unknowingly because I have this gift of seeing the possibilities in everything.
The
It's-
gift.
It's a gift I didn't give myself.
Mhm.
It's something. I don't know what it is.
Right.
Okay. And if you happen to be in Spain, ladies and gentlemen, and want to visit an art gallery, where should they go? How can they find
Yeah.
Francis Rodriguez? Or are you like, this is like an exclusive thing? And
It's a little bit exclusive.
Oh.
but if they want to buy good art,
Oh yeah, actually, yes.
is your gallery open to anyone?
How about if you have artists that wants to?
Actually, I'm looking.
Make
I
it
have a
over there.
residency program where
You
if-
have.
I have a residency program where I will feature an artist, and we will do workshops and have exhibitions where they stay in my space
Wow.
and create and discover the area.
Yeah.
Because where I live, the light is actually unbelievable. Soroya's from there. We have artists that go there specifically because the light is incredible. So it's Casa Recoleto is the name of my gallery, my creative space. And I invite people to go online. I'm not a Facebook person. I'm an Instagram person, and my Instagram is at positivelyfran.
Fran.
That's a very personal look at my life. And Casa Recoleto at Casa Recoleto. And if you're interested in a residency in Javia, in the province of Alicante, it's a beautiful place.
Okay, explain, especially to the artists out there, what does residency mean?
Well, I
What do you mean?
invite you into my space,
Okay.
into my home,
Okay.
where you can live there for a certain amount of time, where you bring your art, create art, and we feature you for that 2 weeks online and live and in person, where I
Yeah.
invite my clients and my community to come and meet you, see your work, and see your process.
So whatever
Right,
your
yeah.
whatever your output is in the space that you're extending to them is the one that you're exhibiting. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's
And how many works of art do you
Have you-
require to hold an exhibit? I'm just curious because
Oh yeah.
as little as 10 and as many as 50.
okay.
Because I have a lot of space that I can utilize. I have exhibitions running into high-end hotels in Javia, Moraira, in the next town for me, where the exhibit there's an exhibit always running, even if though they're not currently running at Casa Recoleto. There's always an exhibit. And also I've got my the website, which is an online gallery.
So, do you prefer locals or do you prefer
No,
foreigners?
when I started Casa Recoleto, I was really keen on making sure that art is accessible to all and also represents the community. So where I live, although it's an old Spanish fishing village, it's incredibly international. So I try to represent people from all over the world. I've had people from Holland. I've had Belgians.
Have you
I've
had a
English.
Filipino?
Filipino. How about a Filipino?
I'm an artist. I've obviously had my own show.
Yeah, but
it was called Morph.
Outside from yours.
No, I haven't. And
Shame-
this is
shame
something.
on you,
and,
Diva.
and the universe is calling upon me to
Yeah,
do this.
Yeah. So
absolutely.
if you're a Filipino Cebuano artist who's listening,
Yeah, yeah.
chance upon the show, for the universe is telling
Right,
you
yeah,
to this is
Please
its
let
way
me
of
know who
telling
you are.
I'm
telling
connected to Art Cebu, by the way, who's
Yeah.
connected to all visual artists. I mean,
Uh-huh.
not all, but there are same
Many.
some names right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna call out all those artists who heard this
All,
show.
all you need to do is spend for your airfare, and I think
Possibly,
I take
yeah.
care of you once you get
Yeah.
there.
Get to message her,
Yeah.
let her have a peek of who you are, maybe, or
yeah.
get to know.
So your art is
You?
called Morph. Is that what you said?
My exhibition,
your
mine was
exhibition.
called Morph.
So what kind of art do you do, Adibs?
It's really very abstract. I used the local stone. It's called Tusca stone that we have in my area,
yeah.
and iron and plaster and acrylic.
You said
And they're
in your
typic-
Instagram, right?
I'm a little bit shy about that, but yes. And it was called Morph, and it's I've been painting for 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gee whiz.
But really, I'm quiet about that because I think my calling really is showing people art and introducing other people to other artists. But yes, I am an artist.
Right. That's nice.
So
I think
should-
I'm just a creative person
I-
in general
I
because
think-
I'm also an interior designer.
Oh wow.
So you also travel for your interior designs, right?
Absolutely,
That's a
absolutely.
good match.
I'm always sourcing. I go to incredible antique places, antique fairs.
Because you have the sight for these, details, right?
The eye, yeah.
I'm really
The
lucky
eye,
that I
yeah.
get to go to all over the world and try to source
Mm-mm.
for my clients and for myself.
Yeah.
So absolutely,
Okay.
and it's an education for me. It fills my soul
Right.
with creativity. It really does.
It's beautiful.
Wow.
How about performance artists?
I have actually.
You have?
I've had performance artists in my space as well.
The part that I'm moving on with the indigenous here, I just want to share. 'Cause,
Yeah.
we have our indigenous movements and dance here.
Me encanta.
So we are doing some live performances to that. But
oh yeah.
I'm building up because I'm building these young indigenous peoples here in the island. Now we're trying to.
Where are they?
They're just across the island. It's in Mactan.
Really?
Right there, yeah. And
Oh, ganahan man ko to kuyog with you, please. I want to see and
sure,
meet.
sure. I'm also quite in touch with, because the office that I'm handling is the indigenous cultural communities of. That's why the Bajaus. And then here's a trivia. Jigs, Jiggy Juice, do you know about this trivia that I've been airing out every now and then?
Let me just say that I love
Sure.
I love the baloktot bisaya, by the way.
But did you see my effort?
Man,
No.
it's effortless.
It just flowed,
Flows,
man.
man. That's why I
Why-
thought that she's good, like
Yeah.
really like naturally. Bisaya.
So
But it was good, diba?
Yeah,
All good, all good.
Finish that trivia because
What's that?
Ralph is already asking us to wind up, man, because
All right,
we have
well,
been taking forever. We might run out of words. Go ahead.
Without it.
But finish that
But
thought.
yeah, because the Bajaus are called the international tribe.
Yeah.
They're like a people without a nationality.
Yeah.
But see the missing link here, that the Cebuanon also doesn't have a hold of their roots and ancestral lineage. Not so much, unless you go to keepers of these or enthusiasts, I would say. But we were the people of the ocean. Know this. We live in places where stilts near the ocean, boats, we live through the boats, and all these ways. Look at other tribes around, because there are only 3 like lineages that we are coming from.
Right.
We're the Australasians, we're curly hair, dark skin, and nomadic. And then the other 2 were mostly by the boats. It's either the Chinese, the Hindus, but the other one is the Austronesians, where if you look at it, the ones that are holding all of these heritage that we've let go are just the Bajaus. And the Bajaus are also Austronesians. And why are they always cast away? And that's why I mentioned one of the meetings that I had with the city is that let's take care of them. Sorry. Let's take care of them. They are the holders of what we were, and they
Very
are
bad.
still keeping.
So you want to bring them to Spain? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying that we're gonna
Actually,
bring them to
I'm
Spain.
telling you, this
They
is
will arrive in Spain anyway.
No, listen, this is a full circle moment.
Yeah.
Once a year, I get an established artist, and her name is Isabel Munoz. She's like a highly awarded photographer in Spain, highly
Spain.
awarded by the King and the Queen of Spain.
Right. Wow.
Phenomenal photographer. And she asked me to take her here so she can photograph the Bajaus.
Yeah.
And
Really?
this was,
To photograph specifically the Bajaus.
yes.
Yeah. Not necessarily.
And
in
I have
Cebu,
let
but
that
we can
fall.
go
Yeah, because they're
around.
all over.
They're all over. Yeah.
But I let that fall.
Mhm.
And the universe is saying this to me for a reason, and allowing me to meet you for a reason.
Right, yeah. All right.
Nothing,
Super interesting.
Nothing is
Super interesting.
by accident, right? Everything happens for a
Yeah.
reason. And we've got to wrap this up
Oh,
Right.
thanks,
for a
guys.
reason,
We
too.
gotta wrap
Thanks,
this up.
guys.
Because we have to give way to another show.
That's
Uh,
coming at
Sarah is coming up next.
Next
in
here.
Kelowna for her brand new show called Up Next, right?
Up Next.
She
Yeah.
is an advocate for the arts,
the
theater,
arts as well.
Oh, yeah.
so
It's
stage
very
plays
in
and all
line,
of
man.
that stuff. And
Cool.
we have an entire show for that as well.
That's true.
Deeps, thank you so much, and I'm sure we're going to continue this conversation. Hopefully, it'll become like a mini series of whatever of some
Awesome.
sort, right?
Thank
and
you.
a
Yeah.
journey for
Right.
for all of us, part of the show, and for a journey for our listeners as well.
Mm.
Daghang salamat sa inyong pagpaminaw. Thank you
Kaayos
so
na.
much for listening to us, and I hope you namoy makuha, namoy makatunan sa amuang
Masud sa inyong alimpatakan.
Correct.
Adto sa pinakailagman.
Kaning atong mga panghisgutan, all of these things, enlightenment, being present, being being woke, being aware of who you are and what you are, and being present. This is not something that's inaccessible. This is something that you can do, whatever place of society you are in,
Mao na.
right? Pwede
Mao
ka og mag-drive ka og Ferrari diha or Drive kag taxi, you
Or
can
tricycle.
or tricycle for that matter, you can actually meditate. You can actually
Diba?
be
Exactly.
present.
Mo gyud, mo gyud.
There is actually a way for you to be present. It is not a realm for the rich and for the affluent. It is for everyone, and I
Mao na.
think we should have a kind of mental practice,
Pwede
right?
kita na tanong.
Right?
It's your
Right.
God-given gift.
Yeah.
Peace and love. Salamat kaayo.
Salamat kaayo.